Hello everyone, this is Crypto Bit Law, here with a blockchain legal brief, and today we're going to discuss a lawsuit that alleges Voyager engaged in the sale of unregistered securities. But before we dive in, please, if you enjoy this content, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate that. And with that said, let's jump right on in. Alright, so as we can see here, Blockwork reports an updated lawsuit alleges Voyager Digital sold unregistered crypto securities. A new complaint details crypto companies' alleged selling of unregistered securities through its interest-earning accounts. And this is akin to what Celsius and BlockFi and similar CeFi, as they're colloquially known, lending platforms have done. They say class action attorney Adam Moskowitz says he hopes the court resolves Voyager's continued attempts to simply walk away from our case. The original complaint filed in December alleged that the firm charged hidden fees and made false promises. Attorneys have made fresh allegations in a class action lawsuit against Voyager Digital, claiming the cryptocurrency company sold unregistered securities in the form of interest-earning crypto accounts. The complaint, filed Thursday in a Miami federal court by lawyers Adam Moskowitz and Stuart Grossman, includes a report detailing why the Voyager Earn platform, allowing users to earn rewards on Bitcoin, Ether, USDC, and other crypto assets, should have been registered with the SEC. The document also refutes Voyager's claims that the Florida court does not have jurisdiction over the company, as the defendants of the class action complaint are vying for a jury trial. Additionally, the document spotlights related actions taken by the SEC and state officials in the months after the original complaint was filed, December 24th, on behalf of Florida resident Mark Cassidy. Voyager competitor BlockFi said in February it would pay a $100 million fine to the SEC and state regulators over allegations it illegally offered a high-interest yield product. Voyager CEO Stephen Ehrlich said during an earnings call that month that there are differences between Voyager's loyalty program, which offers Voyager token holders rewards, and BlockFi interest accounts. The company said in a March 30th statement it received cease and desist orders from the state securities divisions of Indiana, Kentucky, New Jersey, and Oklahoma relating to Voyager accounts that permit customers to earn rewards on their crypto balances. Quote, Voyager is in ongoing communications with these state regulators to better understand the terms in their respective regulatory orders and to clarify certain statements in the orders that Voyager believes are inaccurate, the company said. The original December complaint focused on allegations that Voyager charged hidden fees and made false promises to platform users. It claims that the firm's bid-ask spread, the difference between the highest bid a buyer is willing to offer and the lowest bid a seller is willing to accept, is kept intentionally wide. Cassidy's lawyers said in January that litigation could result in more than $1 billion in compensation for Voyager users. Quote, this action is absolutely spurious and without any merit whatsoever, a Voyager spokesperson said in an email at the time. We look forward to dealing with this matter through the appropriate legal channels. According to the amended complaint, Voyager previously claimed that the Florida court does not have jurisdiction over the company, but Voyager, listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, sells its stock over the counter in the United States, including Florida, the document states. Thousands of interest-earning crypto accounts are based in Florida, it adds. Voyager also claimed they should not have to respond to the original complaint because Cassidy signed an arbitration agreement, Moskowitz told Blockworks. The complaint notes that Janice Barillo, Voyager's chief administrative officer, called the January 2021 version of the company's user agreement, the one Cassidy had agreed to, grossly outdated. David Broskall, Voyager's general counsel, later suggested a significant overhaul of the agreement, the document notes. We hope that the court resolves Voyager's continued attempts to simply walk away from our case. We can quickly seek certification for all Voyager customers that all had the same rewards accounts, and finally require Voyager to comply with the state and federal rules, Moskowitz said. A Voyager spokesperson did not return a request for comment. The company reported completing roughly 36 million consumer crypto transactions and reaching $5.5 billion in net new retail deposits since its inception, as of March 31st. Voyager's next earning call is slated for May 16th. Now, I suppose one of the big takeaways here is that it's not surprising that Voyager is now finding itself in the crosshairs of federal and state regulators and class action attorneys, much like BlockFi before them, who actually agree to the $100 million settlement for engaging in the sale and distribution of unlicensed securities, Voyager, through their loyalty program, did something very similar, if not the same thing, as what BlockFi did and Celsius does. That is high interest yielding accounts for crypto lending and staking programs. So you pretty much deposit your stable coins, your Bitcoin, your Ether with these programs, and then they rehypothecate them and try to gain significant interest on those accounts and then give you a piece of the pie. So whereas you're giving Voyager or BlockFi or Celsius your crypto and they'll give you 8% yield on that crypto, they'll try to take that crypto and rehypothecate it and engage in some, I guess, depending on the risk threshold, some sort of alternative investment and try to gain maybe about 20% yield. So if they're getting 20% yield, they're taking 12 and they're giving you 8, right? But the thing is what these federal and state regulators and these class action attorneys are alleging is that all of these different programs, these colloquially CeFi lending programs, are engaging in unregistered securities distribution and the sale of unregistered securities. And they're treating these programs like securities, which it doesn't bode well for Voyager if BlockFi already pretty much admitted, okay, hey, we'll take the hit and we'll pay the $100 million fine. And I know Celsius just came under scrutiny and they agreed to restrict high interest yield accounts to accredited investors only. And so you can only have an interest-bearing account with Celsius if you're an accredited investor. So I think if you have like somewhere around like $1 million in your portfolio or like $250,000 in adjusted gross annual income. And I know BlockFi, they're prohibited from operating in a variety of different states. And so this is just another, notch in the belt for these plaintiffs' attorneys and these regulators in actually trying to come after these quote CeFi lending programs. And it's funny to me that Voyager is claiming that their loyalty program is different from BlockFi, but I don't really see how different it is from BlockFi. I mean, they're both doing the same thing. You deposit crypto with these companies, they give you yield on that crypto, higher yield than you get at a bank, which, I mean, it's kind of telling, why federal and state regulators are coming after these companies, because how dare the plebs get some sort of interest higher than, a fraction of a percent than you would otherwise get at a bank. How dare you do that? So I don't particularly agree with it, this type of litigation and this type of regulation on these companies, because, I think it's a legitimate business practice. And if they're able to do it and do it in a safe manner that doesn't jeopardize the end user and retail investors, then they should be allowed to do it. But these federal and state regulators, they pretty much rule, their hegemony is based on the fact that they're operating under the guise of protecting retail investors from getting rug pulled or scam. And, I know that companies like Celsius, they've been operating for years with no problems, but it's just one of those things. It's, at what point does it cause this stack of dominoes to fall? At what point will the straw be placed that breaks the camel's back? I don't know. I don't even know if we'll even get to see some sort of natural collapse play out, or if the regulators are just going to bust this up in real time, in conjunction with these class action attorneys. So me personally, I don't have any of my funds in these accounts. They were always a little too suspicious for me. I never had anything against anybody that did. For me, it just kind of always seemed too good to be true. But, with that said, I know Celsius was very transparent. They've operated for years. And so with no incident. So I think that these types of companies are slowly but surely being phased out, whether it's probably going to be through a combination of litigation and overzealous regulation. And so I think it's just a matter of time. These CeFi lending accounts, their days are numbered. If you're going to want to engage in this type of activity, your best bet is going to be DeFi. I know Anchor Protocol on Terra, they've got their own host of issues and their treasury reserves are bleeding. But I know that there are other alternatives in DeFi. You won't get nearly as much risk, but you won't have nearly as much reward, but it's going to come with less risk. I guess it's the whole risk-reward ratio. They move in tandem. So with that said, I hope that this information was valuable to at least someone out there, and anyone got something out of it. And so hopefully if you like this content, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. And with that said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.